We've heard about some questions related to the city manager, and as an elected official of Great Falls, what accountability would you have as a commissioner, and what role do you feel that the city manager compared to the commissioner should play in guiding city activities? Let me start with Susan.
Well, I'm one to believe in following the rules and the structure and the layout, and that is the citizens, then the city commission, and then the city manager. A lot of that is delegated to the city manager, and we've had 17 years of a strong city manager who's been a driver in our community for business products, for business growth, and a lot of that I think is very good. I would like to see our city manager be one who is going to be a team player and work with the commission closely, not preform decisions and then hand it to our commission on a silver platter for them to do their vote. I want to see a commission that looks at more information than what the city employees provide. And if we do get into coal and that continues, I think we need to look at restructuring the city commission so that Diane or commissioner would have more time, because they do get stacks of paper to evaluate. And I think that we need to have the right structure for the right job. And if we don't get into that, I want to see our city manager focus on the core responsibilities. And the core responsibility I think that's been not paid attention to is our fire department. And so that's one area that I want to make sure that the core functions are being maintained. And I think we've lost focus getting into the Humane Society, what they were able to do at a lot lower cost. I think some of those, that $330,000 more that we spent for animal care should have been, you know, I think the firefighters deserve that.
Thank you. Ida Hensley. The question is, as an elected official of Great Falls, what accountability would you have as a commissioner, and what role do you feel the city manager should play in guiding city activities?
You know, I think my experience as a school board member gives me kind of a good understanding of this. The commission, like the school trustees, are responsible to the community as a whole, not just to the people who elected them, but to the children, the people who work for them, to the entire community. They have a responsibility to set policy, to see the vision for what our community can become and where we're going, to impart that vision to our city manager, whoever that person might be, and to delegate the responsibility for bringing that vision into reality to our city manager, who then hires the people and directs them in bringing that into reality. Accountability, to a large degree, comes in the form of the process we're going through right now, of the citizens' opportunity to elect the people who will be representing them and taking their interests into account as they make decisions.
Thank you very much. Ed McKnight.
Accountability. The commission is the boss of the manager. And normally in private business, it's bad enough when you lose your own money, you can feel bad, but when you lose other people's money, it is really bad. You'll never hear the end of it. The manager is supposed to run the city like a business, run it efficiently, and I think that there is simply not enough time. I mean, it's so part-time. You have commission meetings every couple of weeks. You meet him every once in a while. He tells you what's going on. You have your rules set out as to what you're supposed to do at a minimum, but that doesn't mean you have to do a minimum. That doesn't mean you can go to the city departments and ask questions and investigate and try to find out where the money is going. Why is the golf course losing so much money? I myself have worked on a municipal golf course. I know basically how they work. Why are the pools losing so much money? So accountability is the commission is ultimately accountable for everything. They don't normally get the credit when things go good, but they definitely get the blame when things go bad because they need to keep their eye on the ball. They need to keep watching what's going on. They need to go beyond the minimum of what they're required to do, pass judgment on a vote on this and that, and get down in the trenches and find out what the problem is. I've run a business before. I've managed a business, and I've hired people, and I've fired people. It's really not a very pleasant thing to do. It's something you want to do as a very last resort. But that's the way the real world works. Thank you very much.
Our public radio gentleman has to change.
Repeat the question, Wally.
Yes, ma'am. As an elected official of Great Falls, what accountability would you have as a commissioner, and what role do you feel that the city manager should play in guiding city activities? Mary Jolly.
The role I have for accountability is to try to do the people's business, what's good for the residents, the majority of the residents, and then there's another election. The city manager is the administrator. The city commission should act like a board of directors, set the policy, and then the city manager will figure out the most economical way to fulfill those wishes. We have parks, we have police, we have fire, we have basic services. We're getting a new city manager, and I hope he reads the city commissioner orientation. The city manager is in charge of all the employees, and the commissioners don't butt in. They don't go to department heads and give citizens complaints, or they shouldn't. They should talk to the city manager. We had a question earlier about department heads probably retiring soon. The new city manager has the authority to get new department heads or promote someone from within. It's a really important job. I hope he believes in open government. I hope he tells all the department heads that if a resident comes in and says, hey, could I see a document? It was probably something you presented such and such a time. It just gets turned over. You don't have to go ask somebody if it's a public document. That would be important. And I would like to see 3 new faces at city commission meetings, 3 new elected people, new city manager, new people, and oversight. But let the guy do his job or the woman do their job without too much nitpicking.
Thank you. That's a vote against nitpicking. Stuart.
So I said to Randy Gray, he was mayor here, I said, this coal plant, it's stupid. Bad idea. Do something about it. He said, well, if you don't like it, then take it to the people and have them tell the commission that. So we did. We got rid of Randy. He's gone. And there's a few others now that are still on there. This election is all about the coal plant. And it's all about the cities, the people in the city making a choice. It is incredible that these people think that they can hire a manager and put in his requirements that he must support the coal plant and put that to and pass it before the vote of the people on November 6th. That's what they've been attempting to do, to make sure that they have a manager, whether they end up, it's an insult to the voters. The voters should be able to choose and choose wisely about whether or not they want to put the same people in or put in other people that are against the coal plant. Those people are responsible to control the manager. And yes, I agree with them that they know about managers and they know a lot of things about it. But the point is that the politics of the place, it's up to the voters to decide that. And why should we be stuck with a manager that are going to be involved with politics that are not the politics that the voters want in this election, if that's what it turns out to be? So it's time, Great Falls, to wake up. It's time for the voters to wake up, make decisions about what they want to do, and tell these people they can't just continue business as usual. Thanks.
Diane, your view on this issue?
Well, as everyone has pretty much spelled out, the role of our city manager is a leadership role. He oversees our 450 employees. He makes sure through the department heads that they have at least one yearly evaluation. So his job is to oversee the employees, and his relationship that he has with us, with commissioners, it's just not the 2 meetings that we have a month. There are many times when we meet in his office regarding some certain issues. It is our job as a commissioner to set policy and to oversee the city manager's job. Accountability. I think he is accountable to us. Again, we have all different opinions on his job performance and his involvement with the Highwood Generating Station, but I think he's done a great job. I think he will be hard to be replaced. But when we do look to replace our city manager, there are a couple of things that we need to look at. And one is we need to have someone that will improve the relationships that we have between the city and county. We need to have someone that will have a plan to take care of what happens when our department heads are no longer there. I think John's done a great job, and he'll be hard to be replaced.
Thanks, Diane. Larry Steele?
My stance on that is, I really don't understand why we have a city manager. I sort of understand the position, but we have 3 full-time county commissioners, not 3 part-time county commissioners with the county manager. We have a full-time governor, not a part-time governor with the state manager. Granted, the legislator is part-time, but they can be called back to Helen at any time the governor says. So that's really my point on that. Is I would like to see that a position eliminated and the city council and the mayors become more full-time and more involved in the city.
Thank you, Larry. And I would like to hear then from a person whose brother is an outstanding accountant to talk about accountability, Mr. Bronson. And he's also a Grizzly fan, so.
You're here. Everybody needs to remember when you consider this question that we have a city charter that we operate on. We're very unique. We have our own constitution, essentially, that sets forth the form of government that we operate under in the city of Great Falls. We elect a city commission. That commission is ultimately responsible to the taxpayers and the voters. If you don't like what the commission does, you vote them out. If you like what they're doing, then you continue to vote them in or vote in people of similar minds. Under the charter, it's the responsibility of the commission to appoint and oversee a manager to carry on the day-to-day activities and implement the policies that are created by the Great Falls City Commission. It's not the role of the commission to meddle in the day-to-day personnel decisions and things that go on in city government. One of the reasons we have a city manager form of government in this community is because that type of meddling occurred under the old mayor-council system. Under that system, we ended up in financial trouble. Under that system, we ended up the laughingstock of the state of Montana. Whereas today, our form of government and our charter are viewed very favorably by other cities and communities around the state.
Thank you, Bill.